Well, you gotta pull it up. I'm just going to do it.
All right. There we go. All right, we're good. Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, April 13th, 2026. This is Detroit Community Land Bank Executive Committee meeting. I will call to order at 8:34, and we will begin with the roll call. Brian Barker.
Here.
Monica Kuzieski.
Here.
Suzanne Spellin.
Here.
James Maker. Here. Also in attendance is Executive Director Brad Lewis and Project Manager Paul Donnelly. We start out with an approval of our meeting minutes for March 13th.
I move we accept the minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting's passed. We'll move right into our discussion items. Brad, I'm assuming you're gonna start out with the bookkeeper?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got 2 or 3, I think 2 more quotes for it.
Yeah.
And it's really just up to you guys. I think in the email I sent to you guys, there's a vast range.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Obviously, this gentleman went all the way down to introductory price of $600 for 3 months in a row, just to see if, just to tease us into his, and then his eventual quote was 800, and I think it was 800 a month or 850. But either way, it's all up for you guys to discuss what you want to do.
I like the idea of having a CPA. I don't know if we have to jump up to the corporate level yet, but I'm totally open to that. I mean, we could try it. It's not like, you can jump at after a year if things aren't working.
You're talking about the guy?
Or Molly or, and that she was.
Desmond is good book accounting. He was the first guy, or the lowest at 600 introductory rate. And I believe he was 600.
I know he said he had Gatsby experience, but does he have any
So when you say
governmental experience?
When you say GASB, that's
The governmental, yeah.
Accounting Standards Board, which they set the standards for GAAP, general accounting, accepted accounting principles, which are the principles that govern all accounting. So they're just the organization that creates the principles that.
But he's got familiarity. I guess my other piece is, does he have familiarity with like government or authority or anything like that?
I think he said to you that in the email that we were CC'd on, that he has modified accrual basis accounting experience, but not authority experience. So when we talk about GAAP is how you do the books. And if you do it modified, regular accrual, or cash basis, like if that's just the way you do them. So the difference between a public authority is probably whether you file a parish report or 990 or you file a 1040.
Well, and it's also the audit process and all of that. Like,
right.
So through that process.
That would be a question you guys want, because we've never had, since I've been here, nobody's helped me with audits. I've done them all myself. So if you guys want somebody to come in and start doing the audits for me, that's up to you guys. But somebody with experience doing it, not going to change anything unless that's what the board wants, is like.
What are you gonna do if they're doing that?
Yeah, I get it. But I mean that the audit isn't very hard. It's all your prep work. So like
it's your practice, right? Like you're consistent
at
in
the
practice.
end of the day, it would be.
Right. It's like how your daily operational aspect.
Right.
And that's the whole idea of an audit, to make sure your daily operational pieces are good.
Mm-hmm. So when they say, I want this support, like I shared the folder with you guys, like when you go into say March and you go into the folder uploaded to QuickBooks or in general, so the label of the file is just the check number, who it went to, and then even what the amount is. So when the auditor says, I need you to pull this random check to see that you have the approval that you're doing right now and that it's made out to the same person you booked it to, and they're checking all that stuff, they just asked me to click and drag and drop. And so, it probably take like 5-6 hours of my time to do the audit part. So it's not been something that people have done in the past. So has he done the audit? I don't know. I don't think so. That's my guess.
Who are you most comfortable with? You personally, because you're going to have to work with them. I know you keep pushing it back to us, but you're the one who has to work with them. based on your expertise, which you have a
Yeah.
lot, who would you be more inclined to work with?
So I don't know all of them. I obviously only know Molly because I worked with her 6 years ago. She was a consultant for my personal business. And so my experience with her was positive. She was responsive. But this gentleman, Desmond, worked with 2 business owners in Troy that I talked to, and that's how I got his name. Capital CFO works with the chamber, and they came, positive. It's not like they're canceling their contract with them. And obviously BSD's work with you.
We've also worked with the city.
Yeah, and so all of them are people that have some sort of experience with somebody that can come into it. But I just don't think our books are that hard. So for me, it's going to be one of those things is, do I have to drag somebody along, or is somebody going to just send me a couple clarification emails?
It's, if I may, do we need it?
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Do we need what?
Do we need a secondary bookkeeper? He's doing the work.
So,
And I mean, I get the process and having, different levels of transparency, and that's all well and good. We get through that in the audit period. Having said that, it's taking him probably 6 to 8 hours a month to do this?
I mean, last month, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, I mean, it's something like probably more like 6.
6 hours.
It's
So
just,
do we want to
you don't,
spend?
so no, you don't technically need to. Like
Yeah.
when we first started this organization, I did it, right? And then I worked with the auditors.
course.
Like, so it's no different.
Yeah.
I'm not
Mhm,
Brad, and I'm not a CPA.
like Danae does it for the city for all their, like the parish reporting,
Sure.
which is essentially your tax filing.
Right.
But they also, so on that, they also have an accounting firm that also does part of their books and stuff too. Cause they had, CFO for hire for a while. Cause when Jim Lozano was there, he was the person who came in and did the monthly reports and all that other kind of stuff.
Right.
Because they didn't have somebody like you at
Mhm,
the helm.
yeah.
So technically, no, you don't need it.
Mhm.
But we've always had one.
Yeah.
So, and the organization's, it's not gonna get less complex. It's only gonna probably get more complex over
That's
time.
where I'm like, right, yeah.
And I like the idea of a CPA, because the CPA probably would have caught that little glitch we had just recently.
Right.
So,
Which, I mean, I caught the glitch. It was all about the responsiveness of the person.
He
that was
put
your-
it on to the person that was doing the work.
yeah.
Like in January, I said, we have this problem. Monica says, talk to the auditors, which we did. But it was just one of those, like, I knew it was a problem. They didn't want to respond to the problem.
Right.
And so it's almost like, bluntly speaking, it's almost like they invalidated what I was trying to say while I was trying to say it.
Yeah.
So I was left with, okay, we have to let this play out then.
Yeah.
So I think that it's whether or not you want to really do the investigation of the work. That's the thing, is like somebody brings up a task and says, like the floor is dirty, and say, no, it's not. You're not, I was vacuuming when we came, Jamie and Suzanne, it's like the floor is dirty. No, it's not. It's like, well, do you want to just look? Do you want to just check that that's how you do accounts payable? And that level of curiosity and also humility wasn't there.
Right.
And that one person, I think Kate, the person that works above, it would actually have caught it. But I think, now they have to save face, or Kate is gonna be involved, but if she's involved, they also want to bill for both their times.
Right.
Which is why their rate went up.
Right.
Because point blank, they went back and fixed all those mistakes without an auditor telling them, because it was obvious to Kate that it needed to happen. So they went and did it. So most people would have caught that.
Yeah.
It was low hanging fruit. And I just think that it was just the circumstance of the person that we were working with.
Personally, I like the extra layer of checks and balances,
Mhm.
right? Personally, I think that there's never a wrong way to have that, right? Like that's never a wrong thing. It's just like why the city has an auditor, right? Like it's just another set of eyes looking at something that's not in the treasurer's office or the comptroller's office or on city council or in the mayor's office. So I think that, that being said, if we wanted to go with Molly and or Desmond, at a smaller investment amount, I think that that's at least a start. And then if the organization gets bigger or we have bigger projects, your time gets taken up a little bit more, then maybe we look to some of the bigger firms that are out there.
Yeah, and then just to point out, capital CFO, I believe, was only $850 too.
But then she sent an email. So my feed goes weird. I don't know which one. I gotta start looking at dates when I read. So there was a $1,500 one. So she modified from 15 to 850, or did she go from 850 to 15?
It's a great question. So BST will only offer us CFO for hire services, CFO services. They're going to come in, they want to sit at the board meetings, and they want to deliver the results to you guys and tell you everything that's happening,
right,
which I just have to tell them, and then they will tell you instead of me just telling you. That's CFO services. There's a bookkeeper level and there's a CFO, CPA, accountant level. Bookkeeper is going to book the transactions and reconcile the reports and then send them to either directly to the board or to me to feed to the board, and then I'll digest them.
Which you did last month.
Which I did the last 2 years.
Or 2 years, rather.
Yeah, I didn't do the bookkeeping part the last 2 years. I did that just for 2023 when I started, and then the last month. But BST only wants to offer that option, which is why they're high. Capital CFO is offering that option at $1,500 a month, which includes the bookkeeping, but also that we'll come and we'll talk to you about what's going on, tell you about your cash flows, if you're going to go broke, who's not paying you, those sort of things. Instead of just saying, here's your report. They're all for the bookkeeper report, which is just like, we booked everything, your transactions are booked, that's $850.
Okay.
But they don't do it where it's a flat rate per month. They do it as a time bank, which is a unique thing. And, that's up to.
So what are we getting from Desmond at $600 a month and Molly at $800 a month?
The bookkeeping part of it.
Yeah.
And same as capital CFO for $850. And the bookkeeping part of it is really all that CBC, Capital Bookkeeping Cooperative, did for $1,493.
What's the commitment to each one of them? So your agreement?
Actually, no, a lot of them are just, you can cancel
Month to month.
Desmond was definitely month to month.
Yeah.
I remember him specifically calling that out.
Yeah.
And he was going to give us the first 3 months at $600.
That's what he was offering. Yeah.
You two are confident that you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it has to go to the full board for sure.
No, this is just a recommendation. No, I
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah.
That's $7,200 a year.
Mhm.
Molly's
It's
$9,600.
more than that because only 3 months
Yeah.
is at 600.
Then he goes up.
Oh,
So
then
he goes back up.
So let's say it's between 8 and Molly's 9,600.
Yeah, so it's somewhere between 8 and 10,000 for
8
the
to
3 at
10,000.
the bottom,
Which is what we've been paying.
which is what we've been paying. Yes,
Right.
and before this, we were paying about 12,000 a year with the guy from New Jersey that didn't do the books.
Right.
He was a CPA too.
I mean, I look at it this way. You want to get velocity. You want to be on mission for the land bank.
Mhm.
Bookkeeping, accounting is support. It's not our mission to do accounting, right? So I think I don't want to bog either of you guys down with the bookkeeping from my perspective.
And I think I made this comment to Monica one time, is like, some of these bookkeepers want to charge us more than you're paying your staff to do the part. And the idea of bogging down where, if our mission is to fix houses, then where's our money going? Is it going to fix houses or do sidewalks or roofs on buildings? Because these unrestricted funds that you choose, whatever direction people go, are not going towards housing. They're going towards admin and consulting work. So that's just something to think about in terms of like.
Suzanne, what's
You're talking about the dollars.
The dollars.
I'm talking about your guys' time.
Right. Yeah, no, I get you. But a lot of times what we're doing is, contractor, when can you come? I'll come next week. Okay, we're waiting to re-engage with that person when they come.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're swinging hammers or screwing screws in every day.
Yeah,
And
but
so,
you're making deals and you're
yeah,
on the hunt and
yeah.
you're,
Hey, I'll put my 2 cents in because I think I should. Financially for the land bank, I think the potential of saving by having Brad continue to do what he's pretty much been doing until he cries uncle. And if it's too much, well, we can always have this meeting again. We can always engage in a bookkeeper and go forward. And that's just my 2 cents. So,
And I'll piggyback on that and say, you can always hire somebody and upgrade to a higher CFO for hire type of thing, if that's what you guys feel like you need.
sure.
And so you can have, because I also get that there's an institutional benefit to having another set of eyes that knows what's happening, so that if I get hit by a bus, that's what the BST's line is. If
Well,
you're
that's
gonna
the
hit by the
insurance.
bus scenario, who's gonna pick up the pieces? As if the accounting needs to be like supported that day
Yeah.
instead of.
I think having a lawyer and an accountant for a public authority is a very reasonable thing.
Yeah,
I don't disagree.
I agree with you.
and the level is the question.
The insurance policy is if you get hit by a
Right.
bus. We have somebody, so is that worth $600 or $800 a month to us? And I think that, you know,
Or
when this
$1,500 or-
leaves this room and it goes to the full board, we can keep talking about this for an hour, but the reality is, we're not gonna be able to convince the full board that we don't need an accountant, okay? Especially at $600 and $800 a month.
Yeah, it's not much.
You know, that's an added insurance policy for, if somebody comes, if you get hurt, you get hit by a bus, somebody else steals you away and you move on to greener pastures, the reality is with you being the only one that knows the numbers, and I don't think anybody at this table wants to go back to 2 years ago with the organization, right? So I don't think anything north of 800. If we had 3 numbers at 6,850 or 8,850, that's the number for now. And so we need more of a service. I mean, just in saving money sense, let's give Desmond a shot. If he's month to month, if you're uncomfortable with him after the first month or the first 3 months, then we move on to Molly.
What's our budget for the year? It's
I
like,
think we were at 10,000 for the budget.
I mean, like the overall annual, like, the land bank.
Oh,
like
$2 million.
Yeah, so it's like 0.5%,
yeah, I mean,
7.5%.
I'm a little weird. I like to.
You want
I
an
want
exact-
nonprofits to make money.
No, but it's not about that. Like, and it's a safety net.
Yeah.
It is about a safety.
Yeah, oh yeah,
understand.
for sure. But at the same time, you know, like we are projected a budget of like making about another 800,000 like we did last year. So that's the budget at the net income level at the bottom. That's what you're looking at in terms of cash flow. Because if you sell 3 buildings and you have the rent, that's your cash.
But I think that's also more reason to have a third set of eyes
Sure.
because of the fact that we're pushing, but we're also pushing positive cash flow and people want to know
How
Right.
and why.
how and why and where the money's going.
Do we want to make a recommendation to the board? Is that what this group wants to do?
Yes, that was what we
That was a
should
long
do.
conversation last time, where people were
Yeah,
all over
exactly.
that.
Yeah, I just want to make, I didn't want
Narrow it down a
to,
little bit.
I agree with you.
I would like to recommend Desmond to the full board.
Okay.
Are they gonna see, do we want to show them?
I think everybody's already gotten all 5 quotes.
I know they have, should we? Well, if we're gonna recommend Desmond, then we're gonna let the board do their homework and look at it.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I've already emailed everybody.
I know.
That Desmond and Molly, that's like a Beatles song. Huh?
What did you say?
Desmond and
Beatles
Molly,
song.
it's like a Beatles song.
Oh.
Blah, deal, blah, blah.
Gotcha. Yeah, so if you want to do that, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to, make a motion to recommend Desmond to the full board as our hire for our accounting services.
I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any further discussion? Motion passes. I did that backwards. Brad,
Yeah,
repair program?
yeah, so we have the repair program that.
I gotta go, guys, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's all good. We got the $500,000 grant for it, and we've gotten a draft from HCR regarding like the rules of the program.
Yep.
What I think would be a beneficial thing is to have a resolution for Wednesday to create an ad hoc committee to sort of set the rules and also pick the people, set the rules of like the metrics, and then pick the people who get awarded based on the applications.
This is essentially our facade program, or
Yes.
not, but more than facade.
Facade was 200,000, this is 500,000.
But more, the scope can be larger than just facade.
Right, this scope is, it's
Home
less,
repairs.
it's home repairs to keep people in their homes.
Correct.
Owner occupied up to 120% AMI. So it could be as simple as a sidewalk, I mean,
Could be a furnace, a roof.
That's okay.
Right.
Plumbing issues, leaky pipes.
Yeah.
Crap.
and I have a good list of probably like 10 people that have heard me, because we've done community meetings and we've told people this is coming out, so
Yep.
people have gotten a hold of us. Some people have let chip paint on their house and they have tenants, so they need to get it done for this new program and they can afford it, even though there might be other like options out there. But I think that from a board standpoint, we have to figure out when we have this program roll out, if I do an application period, I think it should be a board approved, that they should be like, this is our application, rather than I just create it, or at least give me the authority to just create it, or get an ad hoc committee together to look at it and meet mid-month so that we can get this thing live May 1st.
Personally, I think we authorize you to create one.
Yeah,
Okay,
because I think putting another committee together,
Too many cooks.
well, not only that, but the ad hoc committee is, I'm on camera, but it's gonna be the same people again, that are on tenant selection committee. We're gonna have the same people that have the bandwidth to commit to an extra committee. right?
gotcha.
So I think you guys are fully capable of.
Mhm.
You did it for the facade program.
Well, truthfully, TAP created the facade program and gave us our 13 participants. When I started there, they had them mapped out.
But you weeded through the stuff that should have been in there.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely got the construction part weeded out, is what you mean.
Yeah.
To figure out like,
Do we have a copy of that application to work as a starting point?
what they gave me is the rules of the program. And we have to create our own application, which I got like a 14-page document I drummed up real quick. But I think that's too long. I think that people see that and go, oh. So I might do a first level 14,
You could do inquiry, like a
Mhm.
inquiry, you know what I mean? And then if it passes muster,
Yeah.
then
then we can go down and take pictures.
right, then it can,
Then to go
Yeah,
application.
Yeah, I mean, because it's kind of tough. It's easier to just have a bullet point, be like, are you under 100,000 for your family of 4?
Yeah.
And if you are, okay, if you get approved, then we're gonna ask for your tax returns. But it's weird to be like, what's your second stepchild's name and social security number before you even tell them if you qualify or.
and that's what they did when they did that block program
Mhm.
through Unity House, was
Yeah.
there was like 5 questions that you answered online, and then it said somebody will be in touch.
Yep, and that's
Right.
what they just did with the LDC with the commercial grants that they had. So that, I just wanted to know sort of where you guys felt about that. So I'll at least just bring it up at the board meeting and have a resolution to authorize me. Does that make sense? A resolution to authorize me to?
Yes.
All right, and then we did an RFP for 332 9th Street for the brick wall. And we also got separate clean out job pricing. The clean out, we assumed were under $10,000, which we've gotten 2 back under $10,000 so far. So that's easy enough to procure. At least we'll deliver the numbers.
Is that the new one we bought from TAP?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but the brick wall is one of those, it could be a lot. So the RFP period's not over, so I don't want to say the
Yeah, that
numbers.
closes for bids 8 AM on Wednesday, just prior to the board meeting. So at the board meeting, we will be able to present the bids that we currently have in-house.
And then, so at that point, it can be awarded. If it's, I think as an RFP, it's nice to award it just to do the procedure. But the second part is if it's over 29,000, it has to be awarded that way too. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it lands.
What's our budget for that building?
300 something thousand.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's 350 and 600. It gets us our 1.3 million.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, we're able to take those state grants and then we're able to sell at a discount. We end up keeping the money towards.
Yeah.
So it's a great, even if we had to put a little extra to get it right. But the neighbor next door did say to me that, he put the roof on 3 or 4 years ago himself, so it's like, oh, Tripp must have hired him.
Okay. I'm like,
So
somebody just did the roof out of the kindness of their heart.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really great neighbor.
Yeah.
Would you
So-
like to move? Would you like to move to Sheldon Avenue?
And then we'll deliver the RFP numbers and the cleanout numbers on
Not the
Wednesday.
roof.
Yeah, the roof is done.
No, not the roof. This one did my roof.
No leaks, right?
So 32 Glen Avenue was approved by HCR, meaning that we are ready to rock and roll, except I literally just got an email from our architect moving the kitchen to the center room across from the dining room. I don't know if you guys saw Brian Barker's email, or he said, why don't we change the layout to more normal flow and put the the bedroom in the back. So we just got the changes in the plan. So now we're ready to talk about demo and stuff like that. And truthfully, we have 18 months to do this project. Well, 16 now.
16.
It's been a couple months, but 16 months to do the project. So I think this only took us 6 or 7. So I think we'll be able to get that done easily. It's going to be a little.
I forget, is that a rehab to sell or rehab
Yeah,
to rent?
Rehab to sell.
I mean, where I'm at, and that just to reiterate, with 3 families, it's hard to sell them to an owner occupied and also affordable.
Uh-huh.
So that, because they have to make not much money, but then they also have to qualify for the loan.
Right.
So that's the only reason I said, like, if we're gonna fix the 3 family up, why don't we just be the investor instead of the people from somewhere else.
Mine is, I know it's a 2-family. Is it the one that
It's like brown and white. Right.
the one foundation wall was previously
Yep.
repaired? We came in and did the other side?
The one foundation wall wasn't adjusted at all, but we just did the other side.
On 32 Glen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Park.
We did the east side of the foundation at 32 Glen.
Okay.
Mhm. But in 17 Park, the west side was done
The west.
a couple years before, or a year
That's
before.
what I'm
It's the
sorry.
one that actually almost, like, what is that street, 6th or 7th, that almost
Seven.
teased 7th, right?
Yeah,
It's
three
teased, right?
in
It
from
almost
7.
teased into it. It was actually sold to a city employee a long time ago through the
Yeah.
foreclosure process, and then they must have pulled it back again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Mhm. So we're ready to rock and roll. Plan to be out there.
Okay, cool.
Just to announce a couple other items, I put in 2 pieces of paper to remind myself. We're gonna have a grand opening here. Cookout next door in our grassy area that we just had.
Okay,
Yeah, we changed the date to
thank you.
June 13th with a rain date on the 14th. So it'll just be like an open house style, but also, it's a fun little thing to do if our grass grows. We just
How are
have
your
to-
flipping skills, Jamie, on the grill?
Extraordinary.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I have some local people that suggested this idea to us. People that are in neighborhoods like, well, why don't you do something like that instead? So that's why we're gonna do it.
Cool.
The other thing, and I'll mention this at the board meeting, is this is a contract from the Center for Community Progress. I didn't have this contract. I just knew that if you look at our balance sheet, it keeps saying we have a prepaid expense for $8,000. And this is a consultant that we have a contract with for $8,000 to do some sort of development for our organization. Which is, when I read the scope, it's from 3 years ago, but when I read the scope, it makes me kind of giggle because some of it is, what do you want to do with your buildings? It's like all of them are programs. So what are we doing with this? What do we need the vision casting for? We have vision and we know where we're going. So I am investigating, whether it's a refundable amount. The contract is from June to October of 2023. And the
And
gentleman.
we paid them?
And we prepaid them it's a prepaid expense. So we gave them the money. They're essentially charging $200
We, prior to us.
Yeah, it was in 2023.
Just for the camera?
Yeah, really.
I mean, their quotas are roughly about $200 an hour, which is, there's just a part of the narrative of like consultants make pretty good money. I mean, in terms of what we get for vision casting here, you guys get paid $0 an hour and you cast vision. So this is to help develop that vision for the board. So you guys would all come in for a whole day.
It's like a,
Yeah, and you sit here for 8 hours, we'll do lunch, and we'll try to figure out what we're gonna do with our buildings. It just doesn't seem to apply right now, because we don't need city partners to come in and help us. We don't need to figure out how to stack our board. We did all that work when I was hired, and me and Paul figured out what the buildings needed to get done. And so at this point, we need buildings in a year and a half, or projects in a year and a half. So otherwise, we don't, there's not a lot. And then there's a written deliverable and a debrief call where, it's just one of those, if you don't know what you're doing, this is a great thing to do. And I think at that time, maybe the land bank needed it.
Yeah, I remember, I met him.
Yeah, Tarek.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like a great guy. I've been around him a couple times, and it's just that I just don't know our land bank needs it. And so we have this prepaid expenses sitting on our books, and I felt like it was incumbent on me to at least see what is our.
$8,000 would go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Nicely.
We just did a sidewalk at 834 River Street for $6,000.
It could pay for the bookkeeper for the year.
Yeah.
Good pickup. If you can claw
Ain't no
any of
flies
that
at me,
back,
Jamie.
if you
Yeah.
can claw any of it back, it's a W, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
It's just sitting in somebody's account.
Well, I think they probably booked it as revenue. Depends on how they do their
Correct.
accounting.
Right.
Is it cash based? Then that was
It's
2023.
going, baby.
That money spent. We're accrual based, so
But
that's
they
an
are
asset.
also a non-for-profit dedicated to
Yeah.
veteran government. So hopefully
Yeah.
See
they
it
have
our
some
way.
checks and balances.
Yeah, I mean,
too.
and the same thing to go with TRIP, like
Services
TRIP
not
knows that we're a
delivered.
housing organization, they're a housing organization, which is why, they gave us back our security deposit for our lease, which is.
Do they do anything else?
TRIP? No.
No.
Oh,
These people.
Center for Community Progress, of course, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're,
they do.
they host all the land bank meetings, like this guy Tarek's on every monthly call.
I asked because if a refund is not in the cards,
Yeah, maybe
can we
we
get
can
something
change
out of
scope.
them? Can we?
Yeah. He's really, Tark's been involved since I was
Mhm.
Okay.
at the land bank.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean-
he's good people and they're good people.
Yeah.
It's just maybe we just need to change the
Mhm.
scope.
Yeah, obviously I was hired a year after this was signed.
Why did it take you so long to find it?
Huh?
Nothing.
You said that.
Because first we needed a full board in order to communicate what we wanted to do, but
I'm kidding.
yeah, I know. So anyway, that's all I have in terms of for our board meeting coming up.
Cool.
Great.
We don't have anything old. We got nothing new. You touched on other. So our only thing to do is set our next meeting for May 15th.
I will not be here, but I can join remotely.
Suzanne, you good for the 15th? May
Yeah, I think
15th?
so. I think I put it in my calendar already.
Listen, we'll send out an email, and then if Brian can't make it, then we'll change it.
Yeah, we can always change it.
Yeah, I'll be in Texas.
Thanks.
Cool.
Texas.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.